Once a parishioner asked the pastor, "Why God give the star to the wise men instead of telling them?" And then the pastor simply replied, "Because they are too proud to ask the directions." My home parish name is the Epiphany, the Church of the Epiphany. In my language, it is called Mimpinya Tomba, three wise men of the kings. And so it is really a big day in Myanmar at my parish. So what do we do? Well, the nuns, the religious sisters, will be inviting the little children and also choosing these little children kind of to wear the clothes of the three kings, to be the representative of the three kings. And also what we do is we like to practice. Well, they come into the church, bring in the gifts of the kings. That's how we process in. So during the time, I really kind of very, very feel happy whenever, the priest mention about these three Magi of the kings. And the priest always mention, they are the Gentiles, they are not Jews. They don't believe in the God of Israel yet. However, from the distance, really, really far distance, they came to worship, to give homage to the newborn king. And then he continued to mention, which means the salvation belongs not only to the Jews, but to the Gentiles as well. We are the co-partners. Whenever you hear this message, wow, you feel happy. I don't feel like I'm from another family. I feel like I am, one of the family member of God. What a great, great message for us to reflect and for us to treasure, for us to value. And then, the kings, they bring the gifts. Like in the old days, after the resurrection of the Lord, when the followers of Christ, they gather together in the catacombs and do their prayers meeting, they brought the gifts. And then what do? They gather together and then they share to the poor peoples after the prayer meeting. So at my parish also, it is a special feast day of the parish. So ask the parishioners to bring the gifts. So the procession, when we do the processions, well, there's an angel holding the star, leading the way. Three Magi will be bringing their gifts and following the angel, looking at the stars. And behind them, the parishioners who brought the gifts were kind of coming in together. What are the gifts? Well, banana, apple, and also mangoes, and a couple of cups of rice, whatever they can afford. And they put everything right in front of baby Jesus, newborn king. I feel like it is very, very meaningful for us to, take it into our heart. Today, we are, celebrating the feast of three Magi who are bringing the gifts of the kings. Well, the question is, how about us? Are we also, ready? Do we have the gifts to give to our newborn King? Well, God is the one who gives the gift to us first. He gives His only begotten Son, His love to us. And then in return, these three Magi are inviting us to bring the gifts with them to our newborn King too. And it is a kind of a good thing, to start at the beginning of the new year. All of us are given the gifts and the talents, the times and the wisdom and the knowledge and the properties and so on. How do we use them? Well, these three Magi, these three wise men, who are the expert of the astrology, using their gift and looking for their king. They use their talent and gift to find true God. On the other hand, the hero, what did he do? He's given the position of the king. He's given the position of the leadership. But the way he used his gift is different. He pretend, he disguise, he plot in order to kill the newborn king. Well, what a kind of a sad thing. In our daily lives also, in our world today as well, there are quite a lot of people using their gifts well. There are also quite a lot of people who are not really using their gifts too. So, invitation is, we have to use our gift well. That's giving our gifts in return, in gratitude of God. Here, another message that I would like to share is, what a kind of a tragedy. This baby, this small one, became the threat for the hero. What a sad thing, and plan to kill. Nowadays too, there are babies in the womb, become the threats for their couples. And these couples plan to kill these babies. What a sad thing. They don't see as the gift from God. They see as a threat. What a kind of a sad thing. So the invitation is, we have to pray for these people who are taking the role of a leadership in order to protect these vulnerable people, vulnerable babies. And the last thing that I would like to share is, we should be the gift to one another. Little baby, not a baby, little young girl, she loves her father so much. But as you know, how can she have the money to buy the gifts for her father? So she was praying. At last, she got the idea. Her father is a very busy one, very rarely, have the chance to meet her. However, she still loved him so much. That's the reason she kept praying, so that God provide her to give the present to him. So this little girl one day brought the box of the gift and then give it to her father, while her father was really busy with the work. However, her father gave his time to this little girl and opened it and then saw nothing in the box. His father was very angry because he thought this little girl came to distract, bother from his work, and then even scolded her back to go and quiet. This little girl, cried and left her father and then just entered into her room. But at night, her father also has the heart. So he was very kind of, sad, and he should realize that he should apologize her. Well, and then he entered into the room of this little girl and asked, "Why you brought this empty box to me?" This little girl replied, "This is not an empty box. I put quite a lot of kisses. I put quite a lot of love in this box for you." So today, let us reflect while we are celebrating the feast of three Magi who brought gold, which represent the kingship of Jesus, and the frankincense, which represent Jesus' priesthood, royal priesthood, and also the myrrh, which represents the dying, God's love dying on the cross for us. We reflect all these gifts, and in this new year, let us be the gift to one another.